Each external control input, also known as General Purpose Input-Output or GPIO, can be configured in one or two modes, as a dual switch closure or as a potentiometer. Dual switch closure mode is most commonly used with push-to-talk or push-to-mute buttons on microphones, for an emergency mute or fire alarm relay connection that mutes or overrides the system audio, and for room combining that uses switches or movable wall partitions. The potentiometer mode is typically used to create an inexpensive volume control for an input, source zone, or output. Potentiometer or switch control voltage function are selected and configured using the external controller wizard dialog directly. To add a new potentiometer, or RC3, simply select this option in the Add New External Controller field and continue. Direct selection of the parameter, for example a fader, is possible, along with naming the control and setting upper and lower limits to the fader travel. Select which external controller output to which the potentiometer is connected, Control 1 or Control 2. The pot can be calibrated to compensate for any min-max travel offset compared to the parameter controlled. For example, if the pot is set completely clockwise but the parameter isn't at full volume or at the upper limit set previously. Once programming is complete, the RC3 potentiometer will appear in the Edit Existing External Controller field. To add a new switch or control voltage device, select this option in the Add New External Controller field and continue. There are three switch function options available: mute, preset triggering, and an emergency mute. Naming of the control is possible as well. Setting up for a specific mute parameter is as easy as selecting the button you require in the drop-down menu. Next, select the external control input used. Remember, each output has an A, B, and a ground contact, so 1A, as seen here, assumes the switch is wired to control A and ground. Matching the logic function to the control used is done here. You may select between normally open active low or normally closed active high. Each gives an example for clarity. The preset switch function allows triggering or recall of presets to adjust multiple parameters to predetermined levels and settings. Select the on preset from the drop-down menu, which will be recalled when the switch is in the on position. The Enable Off Preset option allows triggering another preset when the switch is in the off position, effectively enabling triggering of two presets. Next, select the external control input used. On this screen, select the correct logic functions for the control used. The emergency function supports integration with an emergency system to mute all DSP outputs. You may select between muting all outputs completely or routing input 3 to specific outputs at a set volume level while simultaneously muting every other input. Both options bring you to the external control input selection page. Matching the logic function to the control used is done here. In addition, the emergency mute option has a test feature if you are online with your DSP. When functioning, the GUI will display emergency in red and all audio ceases. If input 3 is being routed as part of the emergency notification signal path, set its level and the mute state for each output. When functioning, the GUI will display emergency in red and all audio ceases.